Chapter 7, Pollution Prevention. 71, Pollution Prevention. The Army preferred approach to timely, cost-effective to maintenance compliant environmental laws, regulation, prevention of pollution for all surfaces extent practicable, reducing pollution at the source, modifying manufacturing, packaging, shipping process, maintenance, and other industrial practices, modifying product design, developing, modifying acquisition system, recycling, reusing to include implementation of water, energy conservation, measuring, especially in closed loop processes, preventing disposal, transferring population between meeting affirmative procurement requirements, promotion, acquisition, environmental preferred product services, promoting the non-toxic substances, use of pollution and prevention, and complemented where applicable, replace traditional pollution control approaches and cooperate pollution prevention planning throughout mission operation product life cycle. 72 legal and other requirements. 42 U.S. Standard Code 6901 RCRA, Public Law 109 through 1 through 58, Section 6901, 6982K, Title 2. Title 42 U.S. Standard Code 42 U.S. Standard Code 6901 through 6992K, Section 13101, 13102, Title 42 U.S. Standard Code 42 U.S. Standard Code 130101 through 102, Executive Order 13423, DOD Issuance 47154, AR 7-70-1, Major Program Goals: reduce end use of product, process degraded in the environment, invest in pollution prevention, all mission supported, applicable, minimize the use of toxic hazardous material process in all life cycle phases of acquisition programs, logistics support, modification, existing weapon systems, installation management, implementation, pollution prevention initiatives to reduce the life cycle costs of military mission, to improve the demilitarization disposal system and dissemination pollution prevention opportunities, learned across the Army, incorporated hazardous material management program in the logistic business practices, reduce hazardous material inventory, hazardous waste disposal. 7.4 program requirements, periodically review operations in land, or periodically review and conduction pollution prevention opportunity assessment, maintain updated installation pollution prevention plan, implementation cost-effective pollution prevention opportunities identified with the assessment, development, implementation of green procurement program, emphasizes mandatory purchasing preferences programs, affirmative procurement for all designated environmental protection agencies, EPA, DOD guidelines, EO 134234D, CFR 247, address environmental concern throughout acquisition lifecycle. AR 7010, the Emergency Plan Committee right to act, and then no EPCRA, Army activities in the United States will comply with EPCRA. Army activities will prepare, maintain, and inventory hazardous substance present to the activity EO 13423. Activities will submit EPCRA report of local emergency planning committees, LEPCA, State Emergency Response Commission, CERCA, local fire departments, jurisdiction over activity, EPA that exceeds reporting threshold quantities. Tier 1, Tier 2 reports are due to by 1 March of each calendar year, and activity may be LEPPC, local emergency planning committees, when appointed to the CERCA, the State Emergency Response Commissions of the EO 13423. Activities will submit draft electronic toxic release inventory Form R reports of the U.S. Army Environmental Command, USEC, Visa Chain of Command 1 May of each calendar. After review of committee of the USEC, activities will provide final report of the Environmental Protection Agency by July 1st with a copy of USAC, USA Environmental Executive Order 13423. And on to Chapter 8, munitions on use of ranges. 8.1, the policy chapters apply to the operational range when defined as ranges that they are under jurisdiction, custody, control of Secretary of Defense that are used in the range activities, although not currently being used for the range of activities still considered by the Secretary to be range, have not been put through the net use of the range of activities that considered by the Secretary to be range that have not been used of that is incompatible with range of activities. Managing operational ranges of all organization activities consider demilitarization, constitution, migration range, cleanup clearances within the weapon system, total life cycle management, Army munitions inventory achieved, maintaining compliance, military munitions rule, applicable final government standards overseas whenever practicable, recycle obsolete, excess, unserviceable munitions residue, and incorporate environmental consideration in sustainable range design to support mission requirements, coordinate with headquarters of Department of Army Deputy Chief of Staff G357 before closing in an operational range, legal or other requirements, Section 9601, Title 42 U.S. Standard Code, 42 U.S. Standard Code 9601, Section 300F, Title 42 U.S. Standard Code, 42 U.S. Standard Code 300F, Section 26, Title 32 U.S. Standard Code 32, U.S. Standard Code 26, Section 7401, Title 42 U.S. Standard Code, 42 U.S. Standard Code 7401, federal grade standards, requirements, other regulations that apply to soil, water, and air, Section 206, Part 2 of 66, Title 42 Code of Federal Regulations, 470 CFR 26.200 to 475 40 CFR 266.206, applicable state versions, DODD 475 or 407 407.15.11, DOD 475 or 4715.12, DOD issuance 4140.62. 8.3 major program goals that define address environmental issues and the impact of the Army ranges. 8.4 program requirement munitions management, training management, managers, handlers of munitions, rules, stated requirements or applicable federal grade requirements, overseas munitions action planning, audit, and compliance with munitions rules, related state requirements or applicable federal grade requirements, overseas munitions action plan, environmental support to range operations, their annual toxic release inventory, TRA, form of our operational ranges as required, submitted with the installation TRI, and the report of the U.S. Environmental Command of Viva Chain Command of May in each calendar that does not apply overseas. After review commitment, USAEC facility will provide final report of Environmental Protection Agency EPA 1 July with a copy of USAEC paragraph 74D respond to release substantial threat of release munition consistent with MC Munitions Act, explosive concerns MECA and exploded ordinances UXO for operational range of off-range areas with such release poses an imminent substantial threat to human health or environment, practicable maintain records historical operation range retain environmental cleanup investigation, geological soil surveys, environmental documentations for the support substantial planning, maintain sustaining environmental complaint manner, undertaking emergency response and when appropriate response to munitions explosive concern investigation advisories appropriate for the explosive safety, human health, environmental risk presented in MECA. This can be simple notification, communication with the education program hazardous posed military munitions, however, to avoid and complicated long-term response acting involved in sophisticated technology, specialized expertise, significant resources, maintain permanent records coordination for all areas known as suspected and contained in MECA, maintaining permanent records of MECA clearance operation, explosive ordnance disposal, EOD incidents, and OPON burn and open detonation operation conducting on the range, check and warfare agent waste, storage or disposal, chemical warfare agent waste related to agent commanded or agent related to agent contaminated material may be subject to the requirements of RCRA, applicable state regulations. This does not apply to the overseas generations of the chemical warfare agent waste. Agent contaminated material are responsible for ensuring proper stage of paying disposal costs. This does not apply for the Defense Environmental Restoration Program, DRP, eligible states. Chapter 9, hazardous management.